Hello everyone, welcome back to another session by K21Academy. Today our experts trainer will be discussing about how you can configure and provision the environments. So let's get into the video.
So this is done. Now provisioning your configuration environment. So guys, provisioning can happen anywhere, right? It can be your on-premises target. It can be your infrastructure as a service. So guys, if you will be running a particular VM, right? Your VM also have an option for integrating with your CI/CD pipeline, right? So if you go to portal.azure.com for an example, right? And over here, if you will be having a particular VM running where your infrastructure is already available, where you may want to bring any particular requirement using CI/CD pipeline, so that option is available over here. So if you go into the VM section for an example, if I need to integrate, see guys, continuous delivery option is available. You can click on configure and you can select your code and you can fetch that particular code and you can deploy it over here. Make sense? Guys, are we able to follow? You can create certain deployment groups and you can also bring that particular code available directly over here using your CI/CD pipeline. The same option you will be getting in your web app as well. So the way you will be able to configure this over here, let's say this is your web application running, and let's say I would like to go for any particular such kind of the requirement, you can go into your deployment center and you can configure the same over here. This I'm showing manually, guys. You can also do that. The moment you will be doing it, what it will do, it will authenticate through that particular subscription and you can bring any sort of the code for the deployment option over here. So that choice is available. Are we able to follow this, everyone? Guys, is this part is clear? That you can bring it on the platform as a service as well? Or you can, if you have a Azure functions over here, guys, what is Azure functions? Guys, it's a similar kind of a thing, okay? Let's talk about a layman example, okay? In what situation, guys, you would like to purchase a car or rent a car or book a Uber? Think, guys. So your Uber is just like your serverless consumption-based model. Your renting a car is like your app service plan, okay? And purchasing a car is like you're purchasing a hardware basically, right?
Yeah.
So you will have a physical resource where you will be running this particular code over here. So here, guys, if you will be going with the Azure functions, right? So if you'll be selecting the resource group over here, you will be going to give a name. Let's say my test for new. Let's say this is the name I have given. Just like your web application, it is also a code. So you will be selecting that particular framework over here, right? After selecting the region, right, you need to mention what kind of the operating system. So guys, if you will be going with a consumption based model, that on a fly it will create an environment, my code will execute that environment is gone. So I'm not reserving anything, just like booking an Uber. I'm only using that Uber just to go from point A to point B. So over here, your consumption based plan is just like that. Okay, if I would like to go with the app service plan, it's just like your web application. Make sense? What it is using? Standard S1, right? Let's say I would like to create a new, I can give a particular name over here. And you can see, guys, you can even select your app service plan in your functions as well. Okay. Or let's say there is also an option for the function premium. This will be for the business critical function. If you have a substantial dependency on that particular function that you cannot afford that particular function to fail, that is your function premium over here. It will keep some pre-warmed instances running in the background, right? And it is capable of rapid scale. And so the prices are also high. Yeah. So guys, the way you are going with the deployment, right? And you are bringing any set of the task of your web application code, right? And you will be bringing on top of the app service plan. Now guys, let me ask this thing. If you have a underutilized app service plan, can I use that app service plan to run my functions? What do you think, guys? Can I do that? So the thing is, if you can go via consumption based, that is fine. On a fly, it will bring the environment, your code will be executed and there is no reservation, right? However, if you have your function, which is very frequently used, now at that point of time, keeping an app service plan is a better choice. So that if it is running very frequently, let's say you created an event and you know that particular event is going to happen 20 times on daily basis, right? So why to go with the consumption? Because what happened in the consumption base, you know, you are dependent on the Microsoft. that they will provide the compute. If there will be a delay, there can be a possibility, right? What if that particular function is going to run for a longer period of time, right? So in such kind of the situation where you want certain compute to be available, that minimum this much of the compute I should be needed, right, for this particular function execution, I may go with a separate app service plan because I cannot take that particular risk with this particular function. Or probably I will go with a business critical function where Microsoft is already running pre-warmed instances, so that will execute without any sort of the delay. Clear? If I run this particular pipeline, right, on Microsoft hosted agents, right, and in the pipeline, I end up creating a loop that, it will be continuously running that particular pipeline. What will be the consequence? That is a deadlock situation. But guys, from where it will be using that particular compute? From Microsoft data center, isn't it? Think, guys, you have not reserved anything, and suddenly you want Microsoft to provide you the enough compute of long running jobs over here, right? So what will be the impact on the data center? Just understand, guys. A practical scenario. You have your laptop, you have a VM running on your laptop, right? And over here, that on the scalability, right? Your laptop VM has a capacity that it can consume the entire bandwidth of the other machine as well. What will be the impact? The other resources will run out of compute, isn't it? Yes or no? Think, guys.
Yeah.
Right? Let's say you have asked Microsoft to provide the enough compute so that your function can execute, and suddenly your function is running so excessively that suddenly it will be consuming more compute from the data center. You can certainly understand the impact on Azure data center, right? So in order to protect such kind of the activity, definitely they have created the limit. I get my point. So one should not be able to impact the other existing running resources, right? Probably the same data center have a VM skill set. Now they wanted to scale, but because of this particular function, it is running out of the compute because I have created a particular function which is running endlessly. That is the reason, guys, that while running your pipeline, Microsoft asks you that how much parallel jobs that you will be running, and if you will be using Microsoft hosted agent, there is a timeout, guys. Any function, any particular pipeline is going to execute more than 60 minutes, it will time out. It will fail. Similarly goes with your function as well. The moment you will be going with the consumption based, you are leaving the things in Microsoft hand. If you don't want to do that, you want that enough compute to be available any given point of time. That is the reason that somebody like to go with the app service plan. I hope it makes sense. Let's understand this on the basis of 3-tier web application, right? Let's say this is your network, right? And for understanding, I'm just taking VMs.
Break you can take because you are the one who's speaking.
It's okay. It's okay. We can have another 2 minutes, then we can go on break. Okay. Okay, so if this particular plan will be ready, you will find that networking option will be grayed out over here, right? Because that will be the consumption plan. So scaling won't be there, right? Now, let's say if that particular function will be wrong learning, right? It can be only dependent on Microsoft for the requirement, right? So there are certain features which will be disabled that you will find over here. Okay, so if I'm going into this particular option, let's see what are the options which are grayed out over here. See, guys, your scale up option is grayed out, though the networking option is available, right? This was not there earlier on when I was using it. But anyways, guys, this networking option is not there, guys. See, either you will be connecting directly through the firewall. There is no network that you can select right away. Are you getting my point? Though this option is available, but it is not giving you any option to select a particular subnet to create a dependency. It is again interacting with the Azure front door CDN services. But if you compare this with the app service plan, right? Let me go back to the app service. You will be getting that particular option. Let's say if I will be running any particular function on top of this app service plan, if I will go with the networking option, I do get a networking dependency component option over here. I can even create a private endpoint connectivity. See, VNet integration is there. Also, you can do the VNet integration with the hybrid connection. Again, consumption based will not have that option. These two options are missing over there. Clear?
So guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy.
And if you want to learn more about the concepts discussed in depth, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on Microsoft Azure DevOps certification. Under this free class, you'll be learning about why to learn DevOps on Azure Cloud, what is DevOps, who should learn about it, some demo and a lot of hands-on, and a lot more interesting stuff. So if you want to register for this free class, all you have to do is just log on to K21Academy.com/AZ-400 and after that you'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to click on book your free seat now and select any event date according to your availability. Add your name, your email number, your phone number, and click on book your free seat now, and you'll be seeing this kind of URL on the extreme right. Save that, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, keep learning.